Long before the 1970s, a man came forward out of pure curiosity and fascination to find out about the world's most secretive and treacherous animals, venomous snakes, and that too about the traditional timber rattlesnakes. That man was William Martin. Playing against all odds and defying all warnings, he continued his lifelong fascination with rattlesnakes until it proved fatal. However, as a nobleman, he could not die in peace, dedicating his entire life for the care and preservation of animals. He passed away at the age of 80 due to a final and fatal encounter. Let's take a look at the painful death of one of the lesser-known heroes of wildlife conservation, William Marty Martin. And being a snake researcher his whole life and the last moment of his life, William Martin was an expert and specialist in herpetology. His research left a lasting impact on the field of herpetology and conservation by going against the most dangerous expeditions in effort to know more and educate about these creatures to the rest of the world. William Martin was a friend to both humanity and the natural world, and most importantly, he genuinely loved animals. Martin carried out all of the research and raised awareness throughout his life. As Martin was also one of the most down-to-earth people, he became a field naturalist for one of the shows of Steve Irwin. In one of the episodes of the show, Steve Irwin invited Martin to join him on a hunt for timber rattlesnakes for his show, The Crocodile Hunter. His collaboration with Steve Irwin on The Crocodile Hunter encouraged William Martin to share his knowledge and love for reptiles with a wider audience. When Martin was younger, his father took him to see a rattlesnake in the West Virginia highlands. William Martin grew obsessed with finding rattlesnake denning sites in whatever mountainous place he visited, including the Bull Run Mountains. Since then, Martin has been going out into the field to look at these creatures in their natural habitat. He has loved hiking in the mountains since his childhood. In fact, when he was just 13, he discovered something incredible. He came across a population of timber rattlesnakes in the Bull Run Mountains, West Virginia that has never been documented or known. When he was 13, he reached out to herpetologist Dr. Leslie Berger and informed him that there were timber rattlesnakes in the Bull Run Mountains. Dr. Berger, doubtful but interested, drove Marty out there and followed him to the den site he discovered. Sure enough, there was a massive expectant female timber rattlesnake exactly where Martin indicated they were. Dr. Berger was thrilled because the child had correctly identified a rattlesnake population on the mountain. Dr. Berger was so excited that he wanted to take the snake and keep it as a wet specimen for his research collection. Martin became fascinated with these creatures, and Bull Run Mountains became a special place for Martin, as well as just about every timber rattlesnake denning place in the Mid-Atlantic. He knew every den site by heart, and if you brought up one place that he wasn't familiar with, he would question you until he realized he already knew it or that he needed to go look it up for himself. From then on, young Marty made a name for himself in snake den scouting and reporting areas best herpetologists to areas where dangerous snakes had not yet been discovered. This led to him being one of the founding members of the Virginia Herpetological Society at the age of 17, and then serving for decades on the IUCN task group focused on wood rattlesnake protection. All these experiences reinforced his passion and further motivated his curious mind and soul to explore unknown territories. Martin went out to travel most of the snake-bearing continents on foot, purposefully to spend time in some of our globe's most dangerous places to study venomous snake populations. It was found to be a deadly time of ongoing Vietnam War. Martin once made it through a faculty parachute while serving in the military during the Vietnam War. After witnessing all this too rough landing, his sergeant went over to see whether he was still alive. Seeing that he was not quite injured and did not have any broken limbs, he kicked Marty in the ribs and told him to get up. Since there was no time to lie on the ground on a battlefield, Marty attended the University of South Florida and earned a Bachelor of Science degree. After earning a degree, he planned to travel the world to gather data on venomous snakes, because why not? He had no fear of dying or being in danger. Marty's experiences in the military had made him fearless and eager to explore the unknown, even if it meant facing deadly creatures. His obsession with snakes appeared to land him at the heart of many newly emerging disease outbreaks, civil crises, and other man-made and natural disasters. Therefore, Martin's discoveries add greatly to rattlesnake research and provide accurate reports on snake population sizes. He knows how to handle a deadly snake safely. However, he was bitten multiple times while at work. Each time, the pain started at the site of the bite and extended throughout his body. Martin became faint and dizzy during that time. He realized it was time to seek immediate medical treatment. As a matter of fact, it is strongly recommended that patients who have been bitten by a rattlesnake should receive antivenom within 30 minutes. Therefore, he was rushed to the hospital where he received the necessary antivenom and medical care. However, the medical facility was not always available to him, since he used to go around to many remote locations or inaccessible areas, and sometimes the snake bites were more than one. So, after a few minutes, he found it hard to breathe, and most of his tissues and blood also started decreasing. Similarly, there have been many close calls in his life, but incidents like these did not stop William from continuing to research snakes. Timber rattlers are a type of pit viper, known for the distinctive rattling sound. Timber rattlers are venomous snakes found in North America. Despite their reputation, they typically only strike when provoked or threatened. When it comes to humans, the rattlesnakes rarely hurt because they're so shy, scurrying as soon as they notice people around them. Even when mistakenly stepped on, they do not bite. They like to keep the venom safe for prey. They are considered scarce and are listed as endangered in Virginia. It's not easy to find timber rattlesnakes and document their movements and population numbers. Joe Valerie, the manager of the preserves, accompanied him and admitted that it's difficult to keep up with the 80-year-old. However, with old age comes weakness. Even though physical and mental power might help you stay active at times, aging is against you, no matter what you do to overcome it. Despite the vast number of rattlesnakes in North America, which range from Texas to New England, snake bites are rarely fatal. The species is one of around 30 venomous snakes found in the United States. Although about 3,000 snake bites are reported each year, venomous snake bites cause only about 5 deaths. The chances of surviving a rattlesnake bite are high with prompt medical attention, as antivenom is effective in treating venomous snake bites. It's important to stay calm and seek immediate medical help if bitten by a rattlesnake. Through his research and outreach efforts, Martin hoped to change the perception of timber rattlesnakes and educate the public on their importance in the environment. Despite facing criticism and skepticism, he remained dedicated to his mission of promoting harmony between humans and snakes. August 2nd, 2022 was just another typical morning. William was at his residence in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. He kept the fattest timber rattler in his home since William has always been an expert in handling timber rattlers, and his knowledge of timber rattlesnakes was well respected within the herpetology world. However, that day, the unexpected happened. On that morning, William was getting ready to take care of the snake. He picked up the snake as he had done so many times before. The snake was restless and something scared it, and rattlesnakes can strike at speeds of 6.5 miles per hour. In a split second, the snake lunged at William, sinking its fangs into his hand. William knew he had to act fast as to prevent the venom from spreading. Rattlesnakes can leap up to 3 feet in the blink of an eye. He quickly placed the snake back into the tank and checked its bite. 2 little puncture wounds were evident on William's skin. The area surrounding the injury started to tingle more. William's heart rate began to increase as he realized the seriousness of the situation. Although he received antivenom in a timely manner, his breathing became labored, and doctors continued to treat him throughout the night. Despite the doctor's best efforts, William's condition continued to deteriorate. The venom had already caused irreversible damage by the time they were able to stabilize him. The complications arose, and he became weaker. They knew it was his last breath. His wife and daughters were called, and they remained by his bedside during his final moments. And sadly, William passed away doing what he loved most.